This website called overthewire.org, and it is a game to learn a little bit about accessing computers using just a typewriter, basically. Okay, so computers that don't have what's called a GUI, a graphic user interface, they use a typewriter, and they just use a lot of commands to basically see what files are on the computer and to do things with those files, to run programs. Basically, to do everything that you do with a mouse and a graphical user interface. Not everything, but a lot of the things can be done using just a typewriter. And some people argue more things, so there's a lot of flexibility with you just using a typewriter. One of the things is that the computer doesn't have to support a graphic user interface, which takes a lot of resources on the computer. Okay. All right, so we're on overthewire.org, and it is a game where basically you level up. Okay, and we're going to start with a game called Bandit. All right, so when you get to overthewire.org and you click on Bandit, the very first place you're going to start is with this introduction. Okay, I think the most important words here are don't give up and don't panic. Okay, so you're going to be doing something that you have not done before. You're going to be using commands that you haven't done before. Now remember, everything except explicitly looking up the answers to this game is fair game, okay? So looking up the how to do something, anything that doesn't refer to this overthewire.org specifically is perfectly fair game. Like to look up like how to use the operations, how to like find a file, how to open a file, how to edit a file, whatever it might be, is perfectly fine to Google Answers, all right? Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to show you how to do the first level here, all right? So we click on level 0, and we're going to read the goal. So the goal says, the goal for this level is that you log into the game using SSH. The host to which you need to connect is bandit.labs.overthewire.org. The username is bandit0, and the password is bandit0. Okay. All right, so that is the challenge for level 0. All right. So let's go ahead and basically how we're going to use the SSH. Now in Windows, to do SSH, you have to get like a specific client, right? Like it's a separate program. In Linux, because you guys are in the Ubuntu here, you can go into Applications, System Tools, and just the terminal. So the same place that you're compiling your C code, that's exactly the same place you're going to go. All right? Okay, so how we're going to log in here, how we're going to use SSH, is that we're going to type in SSH, just like we did GCC, right? So SSH is the program. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to specify the user and the computer we want to SSH into. Okay? So, and we're just going to copy and paste this. A lot of times, guys, copy and paste, I know you've been told don't copy and paste. Copying and pasting like a whole program, that's plagiarism, okay? But to copy and paste like pieces of text is very efficient because you don't get any typos, right? So if you want to really like not make a typo, the easiest way to do it is copy and paste, okay? So that's what I'm going to do here. So my username is bandit0. I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to Control-C to copy from the browser. But then in the terminal to copy and paste, I have to hold down Control-Shift and V, okay? In this particular terminal, I can also right-click paste, which is probably easier to remember, right? So that's the username. So I'm gonna SSH. The connection I want to make is for the user bandit0. I'm going to use the @ sign, and then this URL bandit.labs.overthewire.org. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. All right, so it gives me this kind of greeting here. So whenever you access a remote computer, it gives you this greeting, okay? So what's just happened is, and I'm going to go ahead and type in my password. So I can paste passwords too, okay? So I just double clicked on the password, which in this case is bandit0. I control copy, and then right click paste. Notice my cursor doesn't do anything because it's a password right entry, and I hit enter. And there's the login, okay? So this is all just like boilerplate text. It logged in. See if I scroll up here. Okay, so that's like the greeting to the computer that I'm on. Okay, and it says welcome to the over the wire games machine. Okay, so what I've done here is I've done this is we call it SSHing in, right? Secure shell. And basically, I'm just accessing a remote computer. So essentially, I've logged in on a computer that is not physically located near me, right? I've gone over the internet and I've essentially logged in, and now I'm operating a remote computer, okay? As real as if you were sitting down there at the terminal, right, at the keyboard in front of the computer, all right? So everything I do when I'm on here is using that hard drive, is using that RAM. It's literally, I'm just sending commands over the network, and they're functioning on a remote computer, okay? All right, so a deep question would be, can we SSH from here to another one? Yes, you can continue. You can have an SSH in an SSH in an SSH, right? So you can SSH from one computer to the next, the next, the next, if you want, okay? And back into the computer you're on. I don't know. Doesn't that seem amazing to you? So you can make like a loop if you wanted to. So, anywho, so that's the SSH connection. It's very straightforward, right? So we just did bandit we did SSH. Okay, so let's do it again here. To exit the SSH, I'm going to type in exit. That gets me back to my computer. Do we see we have CS at CS virtual machine, right? Okay. I'm going to hit up to show you the command again, right? It says SSH space, and then for this particular level, it's bandit 0 at then the URL of the server. I hit enter. It makes the connection, right? And then it asks me for the password, which is bandit 0, right, which I already have in my clipboard, so I'm just going to paste it. Hit enter, and I'm logged in. Okay, makes sense, everybody? All right, now for this game, every level has its own login. Okay, so each user, part of the game is like to access things, right? So every level has its own user, right? So to go on to level 0 to 1, so I'm in level 0 here. I go on to level 0 to 1, see this one? So, and I'm going to go ahead and exit my SSH section. So I'm going to session. I'm going to type in exit, EXIT. Okay. All right. So now it says level goal. The password for the next level is stored in a file called README located in the home directory. Use this password to log into Bandit 1 using SSH. Whenever you find a password for a level, use SSH to log into that level and continue the game. Okay. So in this case, we have it for level 0, right? We know the password for level 0. It's bandit 0, right? Okay. So what we're going to do now is you would have to look up like this list command, right? So ls, it says commands you may need, right? So it gives you hints. It says these are the commands you might want to use. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is SSH back into the machine. Okay, so I'm going to hit up arrow. It's going to get my SSH command. Notice my user, right, is bandit 0. Hit enter. Okay, and I'm going to, paste in my password, which is bandit 0. Okay, so now I'm on their machine, all right? The very first thing I'm going to do, a very useful command, I could go and type in, just Linux command cheat sheet. Okay, that's like their okay. right? Me. We want okay. Here. Okay. Basically, right. Zero. Log in. Try to from team for and next it is possible. Take easy this and a short story. Okay, you have to be like a monkey in a coconut. Okay, the monkey's had coconut before. It knows coconut is delicious. All right, okay. If you give a monkey a coconut, it's never stopping, okay? It's getting inside the coconut one way or the other. If it has to drop it from a tree, throw it in the ocean, bash it with a rock, throw it at a wall, right? It doesn't matter. Eventually, the monkey's getting in the coconut. It's never going to leave the coconut alone until it gets inside the coconut, okay? So that is the attitude you have to take on this game, okay? It's not something that, like, you can try one or two things. You have to take the attitude that it's going to work at some point, and you're going to try. At the 99th fail, you have to go, okay, what's my 100th try, and give it the 100th try, right? So, okay, guys? So that's kind of the attitude you have to take. Good luck. I know you can do it. Use Google. You cannot look up the answers directly, though, okay? You cannot look up how do I get from level 1 to level 2 in Bandit, all right? Thank you.